Welcome back, YouTube. Jason here, coming to you from JM Chicagoland Cichlids Fish Room, located here in Morris, Illinois. Today's video, how to build a DIY egg tumbler. There are 3 or 4 videos out there how to make these. I'm going to put my spin on it and show you what I recommend using for the material, the netting, whatever you want to call it, in the top and bottom. And at the very end, I'll show you why I recommend this and why it works so good. So I got a lot of things laid out on the table here. I'm going to show you the tools you need. I'm going to show you some different nets and the materials. And basically these nets, I'm just going to show you the different materials for the size of the material that you can use for the DIY egg tumblers. So where do these egg tumblers come from? Where do the parts come from? Right here. This is an ATI number 3 sponge filter. You guys seen my video, I showed you how the sponge filter works. Now I'm going to show you how to make an egg tumbler. And why am I showing you this? Because this is where the parts come from. I'm going to put this away. This is the top off the sponge filter. 5-inch lift tube, clear lift tube, and this is what you call a ATI bullseye. This is the connection point into the sponge filter and lift tube right on top. So we're using these parts here. And what you need is 1 lift tube for 1 egg tumbler, but you're going to need 2 bullseyes. Basically, you guys seen kind of a finished one here. I got a piece of air tubing on the top just to kind of show you. This is going to run to your air system. The other piece you're going to need, one of these guys right here. This is a suction cup off of a heater. Pretty much snap it right on there, and that's what's going to hold your egg tumbler to the glass inside your aquarium. Alright. Penplex net is what I recommend, and I'm going to show you why. This is what I got left. That was a 10-inch net. I made 8 egg tumblers out of this. I still got this much netting. This is what I used to use. Simple nylon. It worked. But I'll show you why I don't recommend it. And I'll give a closer look at some of the other nets I got here. I got some examples. Of course, trying to save some money. So I bought 2 of these guys right here. The Deep Blue brand from Ken's. These guys were $1.75 a piece. So I was going to use the netting material from these. Realizing I didn't need one goes a long way. But why I didn't use it, and why I went back to the Penplex, and I didn't buy the Penplex in the first place because it was $2.99 for the 10-inch. So these guys are like half, not quite half off, $1.75 to $2.99. But I'm gonna show you a close-up. This has a lot bigger holes. It's a nylon netting, real strong, but I'm looking for the hole size. And I'll show you some pictures along with some old egg tumblers that we used to use, how they plug up and you don't get the flow out of them. Alright, different netting materials. Now I told you I recommend the Penplex. So you can see the size of the holes. There, it's focusing in. You got nice size holes in the netting material. The Deep Blue, this guy right here, it's kind of hard to see. but the holes are a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter. This would work, but I'm recommending the Penplex just because of the different holes. This is another deep blue. This is defined mesh. That's almost like a nylon. I don't really recommend this. About the same as a nylon. Just the holes ain't big enough. You're not gonna get the flow you need, and it's gonna plug up a lot faster with the algae or whatever in your aquarium. You get that crud on there. This stuff plugs up, where this Penplex red ain't. This is another net I got down here. A little bit smaller than the deep blue. Again, I don't recommend that. And here's actually another Penplex little net we got. Look at the size of the holes. That's why I'm recommending this. While I'm up here, I wanted to show you the old way we used to build them. Pretty much nylon wrapped around with a rubber band on top. I've had a couple rubber bands break. I'll show you why I use the nylon cable ties now. As you can see, the holes start to get plugged up here. Same thing in the bottom. You're going to really see this in the bottom of this one. See how it gets all plugged up? Now you're going through small. This is a nylon netting that I use from actual pair of nylons. It worked, but it plugs up quick, gets dirty, and you just don't get the tumbling action that you need. You really got to turn up the air flow to get the tumbling you need, and then you're splashing outside the tank making a mess. Now here's the Penplex. See how nice and big those holes are down there? You're going to get the water flow through this 3 times as much as they're going through a nylon or any kind of smaller netting. And this is the top. I use a nylon zip strip, cable tie, whatever you want to call them. I'll show you here in a minute how exactly I put this together. So what are you going to need? A pair of scissors, a pair of side cuts. I use these because it's easier to cut the nylon cable tie. Any kind of pair of pliers will work. This is some linesman's pliers with some cuts on the side. And these are like 5.5 inch nylon zip strips, cable ties, whatever you want to call them. Why I'm using this? Again, because I've had rubber bands break. And I'm using less material because I'm putting it on the bottom now. So these are tools you need along with your netting. Like I said, this is a 10-inch net. I've made 8 complete tumblers out of it. Didn't even use a quarter of it. So I would recommend buying maybe a 6 or 8 inch net if you're only making a couple. I believe the 6-inch nets are around $1.75. So you're pretty much just buying a net, cutting it off. We're going to use it for egg tumblers. Alright guys, now I'm going to get down to actually building this thing. I'm going to show you exactly what I do, how I put it together. We're going to start off with the first bullseye right here. I just keep the net all in one big piece, kind of get it on the side. You gotta leave a little bit of overlap, you don't want it to fall off the thing, so somewhere right about in there is good. Take my 5-inch lift tube, pretty much. This is going to tighten it up super taut. Once you put this over there, it's going to tighten it up. So now I'm taking my 5-inch lift tube, pushing it down on there all the way, and this is your bottom of your egg tumbler. I'm not using a nylon strap on the bottom simply because you should never have to take this off. You're going to take off the top to dump your fry out and put new eggs in. So, got the bottom done here. This is what you need the scissors for. Clean it up as close as you can, and just snip around the base as close as you can. You can leave extra if you want. Just try to make it look clean it up. That's it. Bottom of your egg tumbler. Okay, I'm gonna set that off to the side right now. Now I'm gonna show you how to do the top. This is another bullseye. What I kind of do is get the cable tie zip strip. I get it about the size that kind of just fits over the bullseye. Kind of test fit it. Don't have to be super snug now because I'll show you why. So now I'm going to take the netting once again. Same thing, leave yourself some overlap. You don't want it right up here because there's going to be a hole. Leave yourself enough overlap to go all the way to the base of the bullseye. So now, simply take the zip tie, push it all the way down to where it's tight up against the base of the bullseye. All the way down. I'm going to tighten it up by hand, still making sure it's nice and tight against the base here. So where any pair of pliers will work here. Grab this zip tie, hold it with your finger, give it a nice strong tug, makes it super tight. Here's the top of your bullseye. This is going to be removable because the zip tie is going to hold the red nylon Penplex netting on. Side cuts, I got side cuts because it's easier to get here. You get right up next to the zip tie. You're going to snip that off. Same thing like I did with the bottom. Now you're going to take your scissors. It's a little bit tougher just because you have to kind of working around the zip tie. Just cut off the excess. This is not as easy as the bottom because you're pretty much that zip tie is in the way. But you always want to keep it on the edge of the of your netting and just keep on working your way in. You got, like I said, you got to leave enough overlap to where you got enough to cut off here. You don't want it to not have a part that's not underneath that nylon cable tie zip strip. You can buy these kits from Gemco. They are $4. It comes with the 2 bullseyes, the 5-inch lift tube, and they got a little bit different kind of holder. Same concept as this guy right here. Goes around the tube and just suction cups to your glass in your aquarium. So this is the top of the bullseye, or top bullseye for the egg tumbler. My tools to the side here. It's that simple. Still got a lot of net. That was number 9 egg tumbler out of this 10-inch net. You put it together. This is taut. It's got a little bit of play. This is where it gets kind of tough because it is tight going in, but you only need to get enough to hold it. Say 1/8 of an inch in. That thing ain't going anywhere. No fryer gonna swim out of that. You don't have to go all the way up to the nylon strap here. And that's it. The only other thing you need is this guy right here. You're gonna have that suction cup to your aquarium glass. Snap, holds on just like that. Anybody that has old heaters, this is what we use. We got about a dozen of them. So. Again, while I'm here, I'll show you our old design with the nylon. I kind of just pulled it up over, rubber banded it around, and it would slide in the old, just like this in the old one. But again, why I don't recommend the nylon, size of the holes. It gets all plugged up, you gotta clean it. It's not as strong. Nylon definitely ain't as strong as this nylon netting. This is a thicker material. So that's a DIY egg tumbler, $4. I guess you gotta throw in the cost of the net. You know, you're gonna buy one of these nets for $1.75 and be able to get a dozen egg tumblers out of it. At the very end, we're gonna show you this in action again and show you why we're gonna use this instead of any other type of material. Okay, it's time for a side-by-side comparison to show you exactly why we are switching to all the Penplex netting DIY egg tumblers. On the left is one of our old nylon tumblers. Look at the difference. If you look, the bubbles are right about the same flow coming out, but very easy to see which one has more tumbling action. Obviously, the bigger holes you got, the more flow you're going to get. That's why we went with this Penplex netting. Same amount of airflow, easily double or triple the amount of flow. Of course, the nylon is a little bit dirty, but this Penplex with the bigger holes is going to be harder to clog up. So, just want to show you a side-by-side comparison. These eggs just got stripped today from a fluorescent. I just kind of split them up in these two tumblers just to show you the different tumbling action using the same amount of air. If anything, the nylon on the left, I probably got the air turned up a little bit more. And there's the actual action.